1.
Alright. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Stories from the Unbound Shores. Where I last left off, the group had defeated the Stone Golem and partaken in some negotiations with both the Gnomish village and the Djinn, known as Ira, so as to get them seen more eye to eye, as it were, and to make plans for the destruction of the other golems that were containing elementals of various types. I think that fairly well covers it. Leaving it just down to you guys to finish with planning.
Yes, we had, I'm sorry, I need to ask again. I know I asked last time, but, how many days have we got to get to,
You have 2, and you know you'd be able to make it in a number of hours if Ira is able to cast Windwalk on you.
Right. Which means that we can get a long rest and do this fight after a long rest, as long as we keep Ira alive.
Indeed.
Oh, that's a frightening thought.
Indeed.
My resources are limited if we want to do things now.
Yeah.
I have a single first level spell slot.
I have nothing.
I think I have 2 first level spell slots. And that is it.
I have no spell slots and no lay on hands.
Oh, yeah, I have no lay on hands.
I think we should
no, wait.
rest.
I have 5. Why do? Oh, because I leveled.
Oh yeah, I guess I also have 5.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I used the last of mine. So,
Yeah, I think we had this conversation last week where we decided that all of us are just running too much on empty to do it without a long rest.
Yep. Actually, I have more than 5. I have 8.
Aren't we special?
Keep rubbing it in.
I am special. I got this badge from Bahamut. It makes me special.
How do the others feel about their resources? Or rather, how do the others feel about taking the time to
Rest.
yeah.
Do what you feel is necessary.
Honestly, Dirk, since we're the ones with limited resources, we're kind of driving this. We've got 2 people who aren't constricted by limited resources except their stamina. And 3 people who are. I think we should rest.
Wanted to make sure that the ones who were not limited by those resources were all right with taking the time to rest.
I think sometimes we have to be a little bit selfish, otherwise we won't be able to be selfless. Can't heal anybody if I'm out of power to heal.
And also, it sounds like there are no objections, so...
No objections here.
Well, for some reason, Aurelion's all the way over there. Did he fall asleep? What's with the face?
That's representing his level of exhaustion.
I think...
Oh, I do, yeah.
Aurelion, we're gonna sleep now.
Okay.
Well, some of us will
Guess on
sleep
this
now.
guy.
I mean, I just use it as a generic term.
Rest. Rest is a good generic term.
The only person going to sleep is Dirk. Everyone else is an elf. We have a very monochromatic party.
It's fine. Besides, you're like purple or something, right?
I was using color a bit more broadly that time.
And I'm wearing like bright colors.
Goodness gracious, you are in a mood.
I go and lean up against a tree. I go and sit down, lean up against a tree, and then I'm out.
Oh no.
Well,
Wait.
that was fast.
Nix,
Yes?
are we safe somewhere in this village to get a rest before we try to decommission more golems? Are they on alert from what we did already?
They shouldn't be. They're designed to act alone, more or less.
They are not. Good to know. I think that my dwarven companion could use a bed. He is going to have a terrible sore in his back if he stays like that.
Can we move him?
Got it.
Can't nod it, it's gonna take all of us. He's like 200 pounds.
I start casting Unseen Servant.
Unseen Servant can lift,
I don't
what,
remember
50
its
pounds?
strength. I do not recall. I will have to check once I'm done making my hot chocolate.
Well,
Just have the construct there, pick him up and put him somewhere. Construct's big enough to do that, right?
yes. I can have this, take your friend where you need to go. We don't have much in the way of an inn, as we don't really get visitors. But the one who made the golems was, lived alone. I suppose you could sleep there. It's unoccupied.
And it's gross, though. And also, it's during the day, so perhaps there is a bed not currently being used somewhere. That is not that man's gross house. Full of his gross ideals.
I suppose you could rest up in my abode, as I'll be busy with making preparations for tonight.
Perfect. Thank you, Nick. You've been most generous.
So the construct can lift him on its own. I don't need to finish casting Unseen Servant.
Correct.
Wonderful. Not that it matters, but
Out of character, I think Aurelian can lift me by himself.
Yeah, but Aurelian's exhausted. I've got an arm under Aurelian.
Yeah, I forgot, yeah. Again.
We'll just use, the rest of us will just use the floor somewhere, if that's okay.
There being some other benches and things you could use for this kind of somewhat more comfortable furniture, but there'd only be one bed, but it'd be big enough to fit 2 people, if you don't mind sticking 2 people in the same bed.
And I think that everybody else just trances, so chairs are fine, right? Everybody's good with the chairs?
yeah, I
I'm
suppose.
fine with the chair or the floor.
Or the floor, yeah.
Right. Well, switch yourself.
Alright. Long rest?
You may take a long rest, as you wish.
I think it was about time anyway, right?
Yep.
Time of day for us.
Yep. If anything, it will be at most an hour away, if not an hour past.
Oh, wait a minute. I've been using my charisma modifier. It's not my charisma modifier, it's my con modifier.
For
Lay on hands.
Does it say con? It's not supposed to say con. It's
What
supposed
do
to
you
say
say?
con.
Mark of Bahamut is increased by your charisma modifier. Okay, so the notes on mine were either old or just wrong. Okay, cool. So I've been doing it right. Times paladin level is equal to 48.
Okay, when I inevitably forget again, remind me. I am looking at cantrips to see if I want to switch anything out via the Tasha's Cauldron thing bonuses.
Well,
I will forget again within
Tasha's
like 2
Cauldron
minutes.
bonuses swap out.
I will say this. From your research into the true type of golems, especially since you were the one directly reading it, you know that clay golems are immune to acid, and iron golems are immune to fire, and they're both, I believe, immune to poison, as they are, non-living. Oh, and psychic. Psychic is also a no-go. Once again, not let it.
Okay. Wasn't the thing that we're removing? Are we not removing all immunities and switching them to resistances?
No, you are taking their resistances from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical attacks that are not adamantine, and reducing it to resistance.
I passed that on to everybody else. I don't know that it's an issue for us, is it? Wait, hang on. I need y'all to give me that again.
To get Ira to give us an adamantine weapon for 5 minutes.
I believe it was 1 minute, actually, but
Yeah, for adamantine, I think it's 1 minute.
let me pull up the Djinn stat block and see if she can cast that more than once.
Anyway, so the Iron Golem was immune to poison and psychic.
And fire.
And fire.
Like, they're both immune to poison and psychic, but the Iron Golem's immune to fire, while the Clay Golem's immune to acid.
Okay.
Clicked another webpage. Oy vey.
Let's see. Yeah, I can only make one piece of adamantine a day. All right. Oh, I need to pull that up too. Is there anything you guys want to do during your rest or before the fight while you are awake?
Since the elves wake up before the dwarf, I would think that Eskel would be trying to figure out what preparations Nyx is making and help her with any that he can.
All right. Sure. main priority would be gathering and positioning constructs, some in particular teams, all of which having at least one defender, which is what you ran away from and turned invisible against earlier, as their large, like stone, shield arms have the ability to make another creature next to them harder to hit. Not to mention they regenerate.
Did I learn about things that the golems could do while I was studying?
Sure. Let me pull up the stat block again. I accidentally closed it when I went to go look up the Djinn.
Djinn?
Yeah.
Why? The D is part of the J. It's just Jinn.
Jinn.
That's how Jinn is supposed to be spelled. Ruby spelled it wrong.
Rude.
Well, I didn't know. I was just pronouncing it the best way I knew how.
Yeah, Jinn. Jinn is fine.
Okay. Alright. That. Yeah. You would be aware that for clay golems, not only are they immune to acid, they actually regenerate from it should they be subjected to it. And they have a chance of losing control should they come close to their breaking point.
I may or may not have stopped paying attention while I was waiting. I'm sorry.
Alright, then I'll start from the top. Clay golems are not only immune to acid, but actually absorb it. Meaning they regain health from it and start taking damage. And if their hit points drop low enough, if they take enough damage, there is a chance that they will go berserk and just start attacking the closest target. They also have an ability somewhat the opposite of the Stone Golem. Rather than slowing things down, it has the ability to hasten itself, making it harder to hit and giving itself a better chance on dexterity saving throws, and one more attack per turn. So that's fun.
Super.
But it only lasts for a turn. Whereas the Iron Golem has fire absorption.
I'm sorry, he has what?
Fire absorption.
Oh, fire absorption. I thought you said fire affliction. I was very confused.
If it takes fire damage, it instead regains hit points. And it has the ability to spew poisonous gas in a 15-foot cone.
That's not fun.
Well, damn, I have regrets now.
And I guess, you know what, I'll just cover this. From practice against the Stone Golem, you are aware that Golem attacks count as magic weapons. They have magical resistance, means they have advantage on saving throws, and they are immune to any spell that would alter their form.
Totally immune to all saving throws?
No. They have advantage on
advantage to saving throws.
Advantage to, on saving throws against magical effects, and they are immune to spells like polymorph that would change their, their form. And I think that covers it for special abilities. I guess I'll give you one last thing. Stat-wise, the only good stats they have are con and strength, and this is just global for golems. So if you have things that can make them take saving throws on literally any other stat, you have a much better chance of making it succeed.
Okay.
And that covers it.
I could have fun with you guys, and I can do Toll the Dead too.
Yep.
Oh no.
I can't do Toll the Dead.
I know that Tasha's added it to wizard cantrips.
Actually, I think it was a wizard cantrip from like when it was first added.
Yeah, I don't think it was listed in Tasha, but I have it in my.
I didn't have access to it when I'm making a wizard until I had Tasha's.
It's at the very least from Xanathar's guide.
Well, I know that it was created in Xanathar's guide, but I thought it was only for clerics.
I am now curious and will take a look.
I just know that I made a wizard a month or two ago, and I was surprised to see Toll the Dead in the list of cantrips I could choose.
Toll the Dead. It is for cleric, warlock, and wizard. It does not say wizard bonus spell, so it was for wizard by default.
Weird. And not fitting at all, but okay.
No, not really. I'm okay with it though.
It's a divine spell. But yeah, my wizard has it because it's just super useful.
Just debating between that and frostbite, because giving them disadvantage is also helpful.
Frostbite, unless they're immune to cold, right?
Frostbite's a con save, isn't it?
It might be. Hang on.
Not all bad guys are good at con.
You are
Just,
correct.
Yeah,
so.
but these ones are.
These ones are, and I know what these ones are. Disappoint. Alright, well, I guess I might be going with Toll the Dead then. Alright, using Tasha's shit, I am switching out Prestidigitation for Toll the Dead.
But how are we going to get clean? Ever again?
Tomorrow. That's how.
Yeah, tomorrow. It'll be back, I promise.
No more clean.
Oh, well,
Yes, if only there was someone else here who learned prestidigitation.
you know, I was hanging on to mending in case, like, I needed to help fix anything before we ran off again, but it's very small, very limited.
Presti.
So I might switch out mending for that instead. Prestidigitation. I don't know.
Alright, well, while you figure that out, is there anything else that other people would like to be doing? Al?
I forgot I was on push to talk. No, I don't believe I would be doing anything unless I can restock on arrows.
Yeah, you could do that.
Wonderful.
I'll have it be for, like, how many are you missing?
I'll be honest. I'm pretty sure I should have been out at this point, but
Don't think you should
I
be
don't
out
know.
by this point, but you should be somewhat low. If you don't know, then we're going to say you're missing 10.
Okay.
You can also kind of make efforts to try and track them down after fights.
You know, I thought about that after the fact.
So it'll cost you, I believe, 5 silver pieces for the 10 arrows. So you can mark the silver off your sheet and add the arrows back to your quiver.
Let me check on those. How many arrows does Eskel have? Oh, I've got plenty of arrows left. We're good. I only spent like 8 out of the 60 I bought.
Damn.
Nice.
I don't need ammunition. I am the ammunition.
True.
I need help with conversion real quick.
1 gold is 10 silver.
Okay. So that's what I'll give them in return.
Alright. Oh, after you.
You stuck with your fighting style, right, Dirk? You're still just two-handed?
Yeah, I'm still the great weapon fighting style.
Yeah, makes sense, makes sense.
I've gotten a lot of use out of that.
Yeah, I'm currently sticking with the ability to have cantrips.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's perfect for you to stay there. This broadens our, it just gives us a broader thing that we can do.
Can have trips.
Huh?
You have cantrips? Can you have
Can have trips?
trips? It was funnier the first time I said it.
It just took me the brain a second to put it together. So I could have stopped myself saying what I would have.
And then end up with scratches all over my legs, I guarantee it.
Alright. Aurelion, anything you wish to do?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. Melisari, have you made your decisions on what spells you're going to have?
I went with my initial instinct. So I'm keeping everything else, just switching out Prestidigitation for Toll the Dead.
Okay. And can I get those divination rolls?
Ah, right. You can once I find my d20s.
Guess I'd also check in on Aurelion. See how he's feeling. Aurelion, how are you feeling?
Tired. Very tired.
Still? Even after a rest?
Oh, have we rested?
We got a long rest, yeah.
Oh. I thought we were still discussing what we were doing before the long rest.
No, this is what we're doing after... Sorry, I'll do it. After the elves wake up, because we only have to rest for 4.
Okay, well then I'm not as tired. I'm feeling much better.
I did not say that out loud. Did I?
And how's your head?
Oh, it's fine.
Any more memory loss?
Since
yesterday. Well, since before the rest. You went to town on the golem and then said you didn't remember doing so?
Ah, right. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Right. Are there any other periods you feel you can't remember?
No.
I am not allowed to medicine check this guy. I just rolled a 6 on medicine.
Yep, yeah, no clue. The only thing that you realize is that asking someone if they remember that they don't remember something is a silly question.
It isn't.
Well, you can kind of realize that you've, like, lost periods of time. Like,
Exactly.
hey,
Like,
I don't remember anything about what I did last night.
were you one place and then suddenly somewhere else?
I suppose that's fair.
Alright, divination rolls. Dude,
Oh.
being tired with ADD sucks balls. Wow.
Reach into
I
the
got
I
choir.
couldn't
And
agree
then
more.
8.
Nice. What about the other one?
10 and an 8.
Oh, 10 and an 8? I heard 18.
Oh no, that would be different.
Yeah. Bar. Anyways, Dirk. Enough time has passed that you would be up and around by now. What are you up to?
Dirk is going to be taking care of his equipment after waking up to make sure that everything is good for.
Is he
the
confused about
fight at
waking
hand.
up in a bed?
Yeah.
I think he wakes up. It seems a little confused. Sees Eskel, and then is like, "Okay, yeah, no, this checks out," and then just goes about his business. So like, there's a moment of confusion, and then everything he just takes it in stride.
Ben's a little short for you, but not by much, because, a dwarf.
Feet are just hanging off the end of it a bit.
Which is a weird feeling for you, as generally you're the short one.
Rise and shine, Gulliver.
Little punches.
it makes more sense when it's written out.
The little necrotic symbol is kind of cute. On the damage type in the effect part of the spell thing on D&D Beyond character sheet.
I know what you mean.
That was a lot of explanation.
A little bit.
It's fine.
Little Reaper with a scythe.
It's fucking adorable. Okay, anyway. It's out of character, obviously, because Mel sorry doesn't know about a character sheet, but she would also.
Sorry, just looks up, like squints, and is like, "What the fuck?"
I don't know what's happening, but something.
My intelligence is.
Hey, now.
Why is necromancy off limits? It's adorable.
Pretty much.
Anywho.
Indeed.
Alright, well, if there's nothing else you guys wish to do, we can fast forward to the Clay Golem fight, if you wish.
Yeah, I imagine that just basically involves us getting Nyx to lead us to one of the golems and being like, okay, stand back, we've got this.
Yep. You will be, either led or told where it is, whatever your the group's preference is. You'll be able to go and Malsari will be able to perform the ritual to make it more vulnerable to standard attacks.
Oh yeah, I do that.
Good thing it allows us to do that. I realized it was a ritual. I thought it was just now we have knowledge.
In this case, for that, it is a ritual that kind of lowers its defenses a little bit. But as it's not actively, on the offense, nothing here is kind of identified as a threat, as you've, received a mark of clearance, more or less. So it has no reason to go, punching things. Let you go on about your business.
Not a thing, I'm a person. Alright, so she performs a ritual. The thing becomes not immune. I imagine that is a little telling. Or does it not even seem to recognize that as a threatening gesture?
It does not recognize that itself as a threatening gesture, as there are ways it could be used for like maintenance purposes, like other upkeep reasons. Like there are non-combative reasons to use this particular thing.
Man, I really wish we'd found the deactivate thing then, because it sounds like we could have just walked up and done it.
Pretty much, yeah. But only one person knew that, and he got smeared onto a wall.
Well, somebody didn't speak with dead for us.
Oh,
Or
right,
he
that
was
was
just
it.
very stubborn.
Yeah, but
Because-
she could have asked the question without us nearby. He wouldn't have told us, but we could have not been there.
It's true.
I had forgotten that was the thing we wanted to do. That is something we can do. Try and do first, if you wish. As I believe it is a ritual, it wouldn't take away from any of her abilities.
Is it a ritual?
I'll have to check.
Oh yeah, she's a cleric.
Apparently.
Sorry, I forgot.
She's like a mechano-cleric. She knows a little bit of healing people, but mostly she deals with not people.
No, it's not a ritual spell.
Well, she's not exactly going to be on the front lines anyways.
I mean, no
We
guarantees
also
we get anything, but
requested this yesterday, and she gets a long. Oh wait, no, she doesn't get a long rest.
No,
We're just taking a long rest.
that's just
Right.
us. We sleep in the middle of the day.
Okay, carry on.
But yeah, I guess we would have asked her to do that probably while we were sleeping, just to give us more of an excuse not to be in within eye or earshot of him, since he would not be won't.
At this request, she will inform you that it's only capable of understanding the caster.
Yep.
So even if you were nearby, you wouldn't know. So you could be nearby if you want to monitor answers or feed her different questions based on responses.
I was under the impression that the body retains the memories from life, and if it saw us, it would probably not want to answer questions because it would know that we killed it.
That would be correct, except it can't see anything. All it can do is answer questions, and only if I'm the one that asks them in a language they understand.
Oh.
They have no consciousness of what's going on. It's more or less kind of asking an imprint of what was left behind when they died.
Let's do it then. Everybody good with that? It is necromancy. It's white necromancy, but it's still necromancy.
Have I shown any concerns regarding necromancy thus far?
You're not the only person in the group.
Has anyone else in the group shown any signs of trouble with necromancy? I guess I shouldn't speak for them. However, you have
we did travel with some clerics of the Raven Queen. With a cleric of the Raven Queen, rather.
Have you not used Toll the Dead recently in our presence?
I've never used it in her presence. I like the gowning of bells it makes.
Excuse me.
You know that I used it against the flame skulls. Okay, so yes, we will do that then, if she is confident that our presence will not get us not our answers.
It is the best of my and her understanding that your presence there would have no effect on the spell.
Hmm. We shall run it as you say. Then... Pew pew.
Alright, Stone Golem can't be undead. Hasn't been cast off in 10 days.
Pretty sure he's still just normal dead.
Yep, still undead.
Yeah, I sure as fuck hope he's not undead already in this village of people who presumably don't want to create undead.
Well, we would be, if that's the case, then we will have learned something. That there is a trait of the land that is bringing undead things back, and, you know, knowledge is power.
Indeed.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it specifically says the corpse cannot learn new information, so and it doesn't comprehend anything that's happened since it died, so it has no way to know who's around it. It just knows who cast the spell on it. So she'll tell you that you may compose 5 questions, and she will ask them to the best of her ability.
Alright, I'm going to type a question into the chat then. I guess other people put a question down too. Not all at once, of course.
That's pretty much the only thing that I want to know.
Well, but that... I think that's the bigger question.
I mean, shut down for maintenance means that we can just wail on it until it comes out. But yes, that is a good second question.
Well...
Or first. I don't care. Order is not.
Does...
Just ask them all.
The other question with them being shut down for maintenance is, will they reactivate if they start being wailed on? You never know. They might have defensive countermeasures there.
Well, there's a third question. Now we only need 2 more.
We can also posit more than 5 and then narrow them down how we feel.
I'm going to run to the restroom real quick while you guys pose the other 2 questions, because I need to use the restroom since I got up this morning and have not had the chance.
Aurelion, Al, quick, think of a question.
I'm thinking.
Or multiple. Really no limits here.
Just ask him what it's like being dead.
I mean, I don't think he has that information. I think that might count as new information.
I don't agree with that interpretation, but we have to run it that way.
Kate hit the big one that I'm concerned about.
Remember, he still has his personality, so he might not answer Kate's.
I know.
Just because it's not something he would want people to know.
That's fair.
That's a fun one. And he might not answer any of them.
It is true. I suspect that may end up being the case.
My favorite time I used Speak with Dead, I used it on a person who had been a cleric of Sanine. And I didn't know that this particular DM was going hard on the fact that Sanine hates necromancy. So when we raised the corpse and started talking to it, it just went on and on about how pissed off it was that we were using necromancy. but it did recognize the person who was talking to it, who was not the person who cast the spell, and it cursed them, which was fun. Especially since they'd been friends and when the thing was alive. They'd been party members at one point.
Rude.
Not when I was there, long before I showed up. So I had no attachment to this person. I'm just like, they have information we need. I'm going to speak with Dad. You used to be their friend. Is that okay with you? He's like, yeah, we need the information. I'm like, cool, let's do it. We went into a graveyard and dug him up. Actually, was it a them? It might have been them. I don't remember now. It was a very long time ago.
I personally can't think of anything that's already been asked.
Is it like being dead?
I don't think that's exactly an appropriate question to be asking, though.
How did it feel when the adventurers smeared your corpse across a building?
What's it like being a liquid?
Partial liquid. It still needs to have a mouth, right?
I'm back.
It does. I had said that I was pretty sure I didn't destroy the
Yes, as the kind of mutilation was more just a flavor choice on my part, I'm not going to have to hinder this. So, any other questions, or are you going to just go with those 4?
You can always leave one open just in case.
Piece of information changes our path, and we need a new question based on it. Yep.
So I think we use Tristan's 2 questions first, and then try for the next ones. Because otherwise we tip them quickly. Or I guess otherwise you might be tipped off on what we're actually asking.
Alright. Let me think. Let's see. Answer is actually brief, cryptic, or repetitive. So that's your first response.
Okay. They do not shut down, they only restart.
Do you still wish to proceed with your next question, Tristan?
No, I would go to Kate's first one.
Okay.
How can the elemental spirits be released peacefully?
Let's see. Alright, I think your piece. Yes. Let's see. It would probably be best to put it like this. There's your second response.
Well, I can think of a couple new questions. You want to put the one from yours down? A new question would be... How about yours, Kate?
I'm assuming Master is him. Or are they attuned to, like, a specific person, maybe? That might be worth asking. I'm gonna ask Nyx if she knows what Master means.
Well, he didn't say creator, so there may be some way to reassign them in the event of his death. Perhaps that's what the restart does, although I can't be sure. We have never needed to restart them, as you said, in the past. As they can all absorb elements of a particular kind, we simply applied those elements for any repairs that were needed. Well, all except the stone golems.
There's no documentation around here or anything.
You've gone through what you can of the documentation with the one person that can read it by using spells.
Those would be my two new questions.
And you weren't able to find a way to release them, but you were able to find out kind of like their stats and things. If Melisari wanted to roll either Arcana or History to see if this new information makes anything from her study of the manuals make more sense now, she may.
question is, do I just straight give myself a 10 and assume that I'm gonna roll lower than that?
No, do you?
I will try rolling.
Okay. Which one?
Either or, they're the same number, whichever
Okay. Then no worries. It's
might be more useful.
it's the same like DC, so I'm not gonna. Well, I was just curious.
19 on die. That's a 26.
Okay. Then, as best you can surmise, as it's not, as you're not certain due to the fact that you only get literal translations, as there may have been some figurative meaning in some of these manuals, but even though it's unlikely, you believe what he's referring to as a restart may be a more or less like re-imprinting, a reassigning of who is to be in control of it.
Okay. Does it kind of say how the golem chooses during restart what is its new master? How the imprint takes effect, I guess? Like, is it like a little duckling? Do I just need to stand in front of it and say, hi?
You're going to imprint a golem, only to then destroy it?
Well, shit, when you put it like that.
Hey, man. You do you, Miss Necromancy.
Hey, now.
You're
all-star.
I'm the first to use a necromancy spell. And I am just going to keep throwing that in your face. Sorry.
Your best understanding would be that it would likely someone either performing a particular rite, or perhaps just addressing it by its designation, which Nyx will mention can actually be found on the bottom of the golem's foot.
Oh my god. It's like the Toy Story toys.
Not exactly, it's just the least likely place you are to see it.
Oh well. They're
So
all Toy
coincidence.
Story now. I mean, what's Toy Story? Okay, anyway. Okay, so then we need to know how to do the restart. And we need to learn the phrase for releasing them, right? That sound right?
I think it does. That sounds like what we were told.
But how do we get it to show its foot? Because we're sure as hell not picking it up to look under its foot.
Just, flying sidekick it so it falls over.
It's a shame I didn't take Tiny Servant. I could just have it run around under its foot as it walks around. Anyway.
Get it to stand on a tensor's floating disk.
I don't have a tensor's floating disk.
Bad.
Alright, so any clue what your next question might be?
We're at 2?
You have asked 2.
How long does restart take? Just in case it's better to use that as a time to begin destroying it.
Right. Are people on board with that being the next question?
Yeah, that's fine.
It is already written in chat, so you can reply to it.
Yep. Own it. Let's see. How long does restart take?
Do we know how to start the restart?
I think
'Cause that's
that's
pretty
the,
important.
master calls the unit by name and utters praise. Or we don't know, and that should be our next question.
Because restart seems to be how we reprogram them. If I'm understanding everything correctly. Oh shit, when did I close out of roll 20?
The moment you were born.
Doubtful.
I realized it the very moment I became old.
Alright. That's 3 questions.
Oh damn, that's fast.
I mean, that's still 5 turns. 5 rounds. That's a good long time.
Yeah, and in terms of combat, at least as far as clay golems are concerned, that should be enough for you lot to annihilate it.
Ooh. Which means we'll be able to hang on to our more important resources since we won't be using them to kill it faster.
So should we ask how to begin restart and ask the phrase for releasing them? And then what we can do maybe is start the restart, wail on them for the whole restart just using basic stuff. Try the phrase if it after we kind of reassign new master. And if it doesn't work, just keep wailing on them. Does that sound like a reasonable plan? Okay.
The backup is brute force. But we want to make sure that we can do it.
Alright, so I guess we need to ask, how do we initiate restart?
Yes. Yeah, that seems like a good one. Type that in. We're not going to get anywhere with that plan if we don't know how to do it. My bad.
Alright, let's see. I think. Let's see with this.
What do we got? Nothing yet.
Sorry, admittedly, I didn't come up with some of this beforehand because I had forgotten about this line of questioning. So I'm just taking it to think.
How is it already 1:30? I guess we
Been,
could start.
figuring things out for a while, and we started like 20 minutes late. This is how you avoid a fight.
If we're lucky.
I doubt we will be.
Yeah, we still need the
But
phrase.
at least we tried. Tasty. Well, that's
Okay.
involved.
I have so many questions about this.
Well, you may ask what you may. While I may not know the answers, I can lend you my conjecture at the very least.
We do still have one more question to ask of him, at least. It needs to be what the phrase is, correct?
How we'll get it otherwise.
Okay.
How confidently do we feel that he's answering these questions truthfully?
Let me see, does it say? I think it's like an audible answer, so anyone may roll insight if they wish.
Sure. We'll do it with the staff.
My passive insight is a
No,
12.
I wonder if this guy has a diary we could have been reading.
We did read his diaries. We did that all of yesterday, or, before we slept.
I thought those were like textbooks and shit.
They were all of the notes he had recorded about how to make these things.
Disappoint.
I got a 19 on insight.
Okay. Then,
Got an 18.
okay, anyone else?
My
Nice.
passive's a 12, so
My
How did I
passive is
just roll
9.
another 19? 21.
Okay. Aurelion, do you care to throw your hat into the ring, or are you going to let the rest of them go?
In terms of
Insight.
insight, it's a 9, I said.
Oh, I missed it. My bad. Alright, so then, Melisari and Eskel, you both are able to get a read on him, and he appears to be telling the truth.
I mean, I trust it just because if it works here the way you say it does, the only person he's focusing on is Nyx, who he trusts.
Yes. Yeah. He's unable to perceive his surroundings, so it's my understanding that he'd only be aware of Nyx.
Yeah.
Alright. And as for asking the last question of what is the phrase to release the elemental spirits, he will repeat a phrase a couple times in primordial.
To Do I speak that? I might speak that. I can
You
never
might.
remember. No, I think I speak Abyssal. Hang on. Damn it, I speak Abyssal.
I mean, as long as we learn it, we don't need to understand it, so everybody
I
start
feel like-
practicing saying it.
Accurately enough, reproduce it.
So, performance check?
What language was it?
Primordial.
I got a 10 on performance.
That's the language of the elementals, right? We could maybe ask Ira before combat if this sounds like something and what it means, so that then we know. So that then maybe she can reproduce it as well.
As long as, saying it to her doesn't piss her off.
That's a good point.
Knows it could be super anti-elemental.
Then again, it could simply just be the words for like "I release you" or "Be free" or something like that. I don't know.
Could be.
Well, unless you happen to have comprehend languages up at that exact moment, there's no way to know.
Yeah, I do not.
As Nyx also does not speak Primordial.
I try to repeat it back and commit it to memory after he says it. I got a 10 on performance.
Alright. You're fairly confident you could repeat it. It's enough that, you're confident, but you're still going to need to make a check if you try to use it.
We're trying performance.
I mean, mimicry seems like a performance thing to me. That's why I went for it.
Yep.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to be useless in this task. I've already started bungling it. By which I mean I rolled a 4.
Alright, you butcher it.
Hardcore.
Yeah. Wingardium Leviosa.
Oh, fuck you.
Alright, and with that, the semblance of life that had inhabited him fades as the spell ends.
Time to get to work.
Okay, so the remaining questions I had that maybe Nyx can hazard guesses at. So we're drawing the symbol of its element on front and back. The front and back of the unit?
Probably the front and back of the golem.
That would be my guess as well.
And then the next question would be, draw it in what?
I don't know if it matters. Perhaps just ink. Maybe you could try and etch it into the golem. I am uncertain.
Could probably carve it in there with an adamantine blade.
Do we have an adamantium blade?
Irie said she
Do we
can
know
create.
what the symbol is?
Oh, right, I forgot she said that. Okay.
It would only be adamantine for a minute,
minute,
which is not conducive to destroying many of these things.
Is not. So, we got paint.
I want to kind of, I guess, investigate the guy's workspace and see if I see any sort of special writing implement that might be used.
Or just any kind of adamantine tool.
Or that. Yeah, anything that looks like it might be.
But, also paint and brushes, just in case it's as simple as that.
Alright, and do you know what the symbol of the element is?
Good question.
Yeah, that'll be the next.
Is it an Arcana check, maybe?
You may make one if you wish.
Alright, I'll start with the Arcana check. Since that's the limiting factor.
Make sure not talking at my butt before I say the next thing here.
Better. 22.
I got a 7.
I'm not rolling.
Alright, that's probably there. Now, if memory serves... Yes. Alright. Well, Melsar, you would be aware that, if it's not something wholly unique, which wouldn't make a ton of sense, it's would likely be just simply the word for that element in either primordial or one of its offshoots. That being, Aaron, Ignan, Terran, Aquan.
I don't speak Orin or Ignan or Terran or Aqua.
Wait,
Yes?
I lost my brain for a second.
Elemental
So
languages.
that's what we're thinking the symbol of its element is?
Yes.
That's annoying. I don't suppose he has any notes in Primordial.
There were lots of pictures in his books.
I might be able to figure out what words are.
He does not. However, Dirk, as you may recall, when you went to the Portal of Air, the sigils that were written in Primordial matched the Dwarven writing that you're familiar with. So you may know the symbols yourself, as they seem to use the same script, if slight variation.
Okay, so I think that the words are basically the same. That Dwarvish uses the same words for the elements.
Yes. Like
Or the
the
same
way
writing for the.
basically the way I run it, as far as like some languages sharing the same script, like the more basic words and things are going to be the same, but the more complex it gets, the more different it'll be. But when you're just referring to like, fire, water, air, those are pretty much as simple as it gets.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why didn't he?
Water, earth,
Fire.
air. Long ago.
No,
Okay.
shut up.
Rude.
The word for air that we saw when we met Ira was essentially the same as Dwarvish, it seemed. So we might perhaps have luck with that, just writing the Dwarvish words for the elements.
If Ira comes before the fighting actually begins, it might be worth asking her. And also just generally sharing this information with her. And then we might know ahead of time. It might be worth knowing ahead of time if this phrase is something that really pisses off Elemental. In case we have an Elemental joining us in our fight for some period of time.
Alright. So do you wait for Ira to show up? Then before you proceed to any other steps, or are there other things you wish to do?
Did we find out the units' names?
They're apparently written under its foot. So we have ways of figuring out. theoretically, if we can get them to lift their foot.
1 second, I have to do the typies.
Typies. But then I did also want to do that investigation to see if I find any special paints or other writing implements. Or carving implements.
I think Al would probably help Melisari with this.
Fanciness. I don't really remember taking investigation, but I do not regret it.
Investigation.
Alright, so you begin searching his home/workshop.
Indeed.
Okay. You are able to find what is a tiny adamantine like etching tool.
Neat. Along with some paints, pins, brushes, paper, other things, along with numerous that look like places where there were numerous designs and things, but those seem to have been removed. Boo. Do I know of a way to test if it's adamantium?
Nope, because you've never seen adamantium before in your life.
Can I take a look at it and try and figure out?
You may, as it's something that dwarves have dealt with in the past.
I hand it over to you. I mean, I come out saying, "Look what I found. This looks like it could be something, right?"
Dwarves are experts of adamantine.
And I am not a young dwarf.
Hey.
So.
Hey.
You don't seem like an old dwarf either.
I rolled a 14 on die. I don't know what I'm rolling.
So what's the approach here? Do you look at it? You just kind of feel it up, give it a bite? What's the goal here?
I mean, there's other metal around here.
As everyone knows, dwarves have a special sensory organ. You just press a metal up against it and you instantly know what it is. Hang on, it's in my pants.
I take it, I look at it pretty closely. I go and find some other metal and start, trying to cut into it with it.
Just see if it scratches. You just have to see if it scratches it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. You are able to find another piece of metal in this, workshop area. You're not sure what your guess would be. The other is iron or steel. And it's able to cut without much effort.
What about the head of your axe? You know your axe head is going to be steel, right?
I wouldn't test it on that. That seems like a good way to mess up your maul.
Whatever, maul. I mean, serious hardness testing is just seeing if you can scratch it. You're not trying to destroy it. If you drag one across the other and one scratches the other, then the one that did the scratching is harder.
Indeed. I still wouldn't want to scratch my primary tool of destruction.
Do I know that you can mend?
I cannot. Oh, I can.
Yeah, you can. You get rid of prestidigitation.
You probably don't know.
Okay.
Other note, because I just remember this from last week. Did you guys shift who has the item? The
No, it's
armor
currently
and-
still feeding damage to her.
Okay.
I thought we were talking about the
Something
attunement.
that I just thought about.
Which we don't necessarily need to anymore. Sorry, you thought about?
Hold on, blanking.
I scratch a bit of my armor.
All right. It doesn't, go through like butter, as Kate had mentioned before, but it does cut without as much resistance as you'd come to expect from, metal.
Yeah, that's an article, Dirk.
I think so.
Very nice. What should I roll to see if I remember that I have mending? Never mind the fact that I specifically chose to give up prestidigitation in case anything needed to be mending after this fighting, and then subsequently forgot.
If you want to roll something, history is generally the stand-in for memory.
Oh, I don't remember. Sorry.
Maybe later.
This is not the only scratch that my armor has.
No, I'm gonna give myself advantage because again, I chose to give up prestidigitation specifically because I thought I might need mending today.
I mean, if you want to remember that you have mending, you may. You're the one imposing the roll here.
One generally does know what spells they know.
I know, but you might not necessarily think about it. I just now was like, oh yeah, mending. It felt like metagaming to me. But I'm fine offering mending.
How do you forget you have bionic legs? I don't know. Do you constantly think about how you were standing around on normal legs?
Exactly. But anyway, I'll just say like 10 minutes later, I'm suddenly like, oh, Dirk, would you like me to just mend that for you?
That would be kind. Thank
Thing
you.
that I'll remember.
Ah, yes.
Ira was able to lift me back on the mountain. Maybe she'll be able to lift the golem?
That's a thing.
She was able to lift me quite high, and I'm fairly light.
Let's see if we can get one of the golems to lift their foot, and then if we need to, we'll wait for Ira to arrive.
Alright.
We're more or less otherwise prepared.
I'm good.
Let's go.
Okay. So we try to find the unit number. Then Dirk tries to carve the words into their front and back. Start the start process. During that time, it seems one needs to speak the unit name in order to reattune it. And then we try saying the phrase. And if that doesn't work, we start wailing on it. Yes?
Yes.
Sounds
This
reasonable
sounds
to me.
an appropriate interpretation of the things that we have learned and understood a little better today.
As
Also
long as we
directed
don't have to wait through the whole restart process to try the master name thing.
Yeah, that will be the question. I think once we finish the restart process, if it doesn't work during, we'll try it again perhaps. Unless smacking it around during the restart process makes it want to attack us. But we'll
Restart,
see.
okay. Bang, 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 bang! I'm your master now.
Well, more like restart. Hello, I'm your master. Decommission. Oh, that didn't work. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, hey, I'm still your master. Decommission? Right? That sounds like the order of things.
Okay, if that's how we want to do it, sure. As long as it doesn't start wailing on us after the first read. Yeah, that should work.
That's the hope, anyway. I don't know if there's any cooldown on how soon after one we can begin another restart. Something that we didn't have enough questions to ask.
I wanted to ask what his was.
Insight. I want to see if you're joking. I got insight of 18.
I got a 10. I am being facetious.
Oh,
Okay,
one
just
thing
give you
I forgot to describe when you went to go and question the guy who had made the golems originally, whose name I've forgotten.
It's, Alliston.
That's it. His body seemed to have begun to decay rather quickly. Like, it's much further along than we would have expected for how recently he had, become deceased.
Only been dead 8 hours.
Indeed.
Should we burn it just in case? I look hesitant to suggesting this, but
I mean, we've always burned bodies, since we were traveling with that cleric of the Raven Queen. That's what she said the best thing to do was, that they can't become undead if we do that. So it seems reasonable to me. You might also ask Nyx if this village has a tradition that they adhere to. Their home.
yeah, that's probably the better plan of action there.
All right. So, what is it you ask Nyx exactly? Because this may differ in her answer.
Regarding the body?
Like regarding what you want to do with it.
That is an Eskel question.
Nyx,
Yes?
is there a particular tradition that your village adheres to when it comes to treating the dead?
Well, we used to bury them, but a few years ago, we're not sure what exactly the case was. Our best guess is that it's, well, quite frankly, your target from the Forgotten Fortress, but something was causing those to
Right.
had passed on to rise.
Hmm.
So we began burning them.
There you go.
They never seemed to cause trouble. They just wandered off. Like, we'd go to sleep one night, and the next day there'd be holes where there was previously graves.
Man, remember when I joked that there was a trait of the land that just caused the dead to rise after a while?
You were joking?
I was.
I thought it sounded like a reasonable hypothesis.
I didn't. But I guess I have to change my position on that. Okay then. Then you guys already know what to do. It looks like Alliston's starting to, get flighty, as it were. So I recommend you deal with that while we go deal with the golems.
I'll see to it. I'm sure there are some others not participating in the effort with the golems that can see to him.
Excellent.
Everyone is aware that this will be happening. They should more or less stay away.
Oh yes, anyone who's not going to be participating should be staying indoors, and if they live near one of the golems, they have been relocated for the time being.
Alright, just point us toward the first one and we'll get started.
she'll give you some short directions to the next clearing. We'll see a similar pedestal type thing that you saw the stone golem on, but this one will be made of clay.
Okay. Let's head over there, gang.
Okay. I'm going to walk up to it and tell it to lift its foot.
It does nothing.
I'm going to attempt to... No, I'm going to ask Dirk to attempt to lift its foot.
I go to attempt to lift its foot. I rolled a 17 on die. My strength is plus... I get a 21 strength to attempt to lift its foot.
Are there still rules for determining like your push-pull-lift capacity in this game? It's addition.
Yes.
Do you know what they are? Because I do not.
I don't. Push, drag, or lift is twice your carrying capacity or 30 times your strength score.
I'm going to begin casting that ritual that will make them less immune to
540 pounds.
Pretty good.
Alright, just 1 second, I'll do a quick Google to get some idea of how much something like this might weigh.
Like, are we capable of, like, bending its legs? Because that would influence whether or not, like, how much weight is behind it.
So,
I'm also not, like, trying to just lift up the whole thing. I am trying to, like, if I'm at a leg and I'm lifting up there, that it can, like, shift. Kind of, like, basically knocking it off balance but holding it. As opposed to just, you know, like...
You're just trying to tip
That's
it.
the word I was looking for.
Cow tipping without letting the cow fall.
Yeah. As opposed to just, like, deadlifting a cow.
Yeah, don't deadlift the cow.
I tried that once. It was terrible. Only half
Insight.
joke last night. Was awful.
I got a 22.
To deadlift a cow?
Yeah. No, to insight her deadlifting a cow.
I didn't say that in character.
I press X to doubt.
Um,
I wasted my 19 on that.
So, I go with... You can start to get a little bit of progress, but its joints seem stiff, unwilling to move. And you're not sure, but they may be working against you. You're not certain.
So why don't we try the restart thing? So that you can start issuing it commands.
We gotta spend 10 minutes for me to cast this. I assume 10 minutes for me to cast this ritual first to make it less immune to things.
Yeah, that would...
Alright, that makes sense. So we do that.
Alright, 10 minutes go by. Next.
The restart thing is just draw the symbol on both sides of it?
Yes, and this would be air, I assume.
Clay? I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, we know that the iron is fire, correct? And the stone was earth.
And this is acid.
You've been told that clay golems contain either water or air.
Damn it.
What happens if we write them both?
I write one and then the other, I guess. But, like, you know, write one front and back, and if that doesn't work, write the other on front and back to...
See if there's... Hang on. Use your investigation to see if there's any, like, indication if anything's been written there in the past.
Yeah, hang on. Is anyone assisting?
Sure. An advantage. I want to believe he's just standing there in this pose, so the thing is actually just written on his lifted foot, and we could just go look.
It's a 17.
There does not appear to be any marks of something previously etched or written.
Did we bring the brushes and paint, or just the adamantine knife?
I could have brought the brushes and paint as well. Anyone suggest might be helpful.
I mean,
And then just,
it's Dirk's native tongue, Dirk's native handwriting, rather. He should probably write it.
Do we want to attempt to use the brushes before we use the what was it? It was a knife, or was it a chisel? What was it?
It was I forgot what I called it exactly, but something meant for etching. It's like an etching tool.
So it's like a chisel or an awl.
whatever.
I mean, start with the paint, and if that doesn't work, do water, then do air. Probably air, honestly, so do air, then do water.
Okay.
The air elementals are the ones who are pissed off, and not the water elementals.
Yep.
I go and write air on it, front and back, with the paint.
Alright. Nothing happens.
Water. Do we know if anything's supposed to... What happens when we do this again? It's supposed
I
to
don't think we know.
reboot?
I don't think that was one of the things we were able to figure out.
Give it 30 seconds, and then tell it that you're its master?
We don't know its unit number, so we can't tell it.
Oh,
where it's
Jesus.
master.
Where are we? The unit numbers of the thing written on its foot?
Yes.
How does this help us? Ah!
So it was. You said it was almost like it was resisting me. It was resisting me bending at the joints, or it was like shifting weight as I tried to shift its weight.
Like, as you tried to pull up, it was actively pushing down. It was specifically trying to maintain the pose it was in. Like, it was trying to basically, stand its post.
Do we just try to straight overwhelm?
And we might just tip it. Just throw this rope around its neck and all of us pull it down. It will fall over. It'll probably get back up. It might even attack us then, but if we've got the number, then we can try the restart thing.
Someone needs to be on the side of its foot and quickly read the foot. The what you call it?
What if we take the adamantine chisel and just break the thing it's standing on underneath its foot?
Just tunnel in there and make us
Wow.
a place big enough for your head.
That's clever. Might take a little while.
Take a long while. Tape the chisel to your hammer and use it like a pickaxe. I'll try carving the air symbol in there with the chisel.
As you guys have been at this a while, you will hear a storm begin to roll in, and it will begin to rain.
I think that's our backup.
Sounds about right. Okay, she might be able to lift it.
I mean, she'll probably just try to break it if she lifts it.
Okay, but we can also tell her, hey, we have this thing we can try to just break them down. Or make them release elementals.
Alright.
Might be inclined to do that rather than spending for people's resources trying to fight them.
Well, what's the shutdown thing again?
Let's see. Master speaks the unit name and the phrase. The phrase being the thing that you are better at saying than I am.
No, wait, that's how we get it to peacefully release. Hold on.
Yes, that's a peaceful release. The reset is writing the elemental symbol on the front and back.
Okay. Well, let's just quickly have Dirk chisel the symbol of air into its front and back.
Okay.
And then just somebody say there its master.
I chisel air front and back. Look it straight in the eyes from my height and say, "You listen to me now."
I put a hand to my forehead. I think it's still need the unit name for that.
I'm not sure.
That seemed to be the imprinting process. Required speak the unit name.
It does not respond or make any movements. However, the marks you made appear to be slowly filling themselves in.
Can you lift up this foot?
Eight.
I point at a foot.
It makes no response or movement.
So it appears to be restarting.
What if we just bust the foot off?
Oh wait, isn't this the one that takes 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I wait 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay. You wait 30 seconds.
Lift that foot.
It makes no response.
Told you. So, since
What
Ira
language
appears
is
to be
speaking?
approaching. What?
What language is being spoken?
I was
Harmonizing.
speaking common.
Oh shit, it might need to be in primordial.
Primordial or Gnomish?
If only someone had tongues.
But I don't know the phrase in primordial.
I can repeat it to you once you've cast tongues, and then maybe you'll figure out what the phrase is.
Okay, fair enough. Let's try this. We do still need to get its unit name some way or another. Where the fuck is Thomas? Why is it not on my thing? Hang on.
Tristan, if you could, as the actress, could put on some stormy, like, environmental music.
Oh, I didn't change any of my prepared spells. That's what my problem is. Let me fix this.
Because you will, while it is, like, now raining on a lot of you, it will also begin to, you also see some claps of thunder and lightning.
I cast Mage Armor, by the way. Let me not forget to do that.
Do not forget to cast Major. Very important.
Are we intending to use our potion? Maybe I should intend to. Hang on.
And rest?
Yes.
No, not here. I'm hoping to save that for...
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. Before we go in after Atlas. I'm just...
Yeah. My plan is to begin fighting Atlas and expend all my resources, and then use bottled rest and spend them again.
Sorry, I'm just trying to decide if I can... Prepared Dispel Magic as well. I think I will hold off on that for now. Okay, so I am casting tongues. Oh shit, but that doesn't actually let me speak in Primordial.
It lets you be understood, doesn't it? It lets you understand and be understood.
Yeah,
Yes.
so they would hear it as whatever language they prefer.
Okay, well I guess I cast it. Give it to me.
I perform the line and got a 20 to perform it.
All right. Then you will say the lines in Primordial, and Molisari, you will hear.
Are you typing it to me?
What?
Are you typing it to me?
Would you prefer me to type it, or prefer me to say it out loud?
I'm just gonna tell them what it means anyway, unless it's something embarrassing.
It says, "We have imprisoned you. You have served us well. Now we release you."
Damn. That's dark.
I think it's going to attack us after that.
I don't like it. Okay, well, I know what the phrase is. I can say it so it understands. Hopefully it doesn't then attack us. Maybe we can flag down someone who knows that we are only here to help and have not actually imprisoned it, who can speak sense into it.
We still don't have its name.
I know, I'm working on it. Kind of. Alright, do we just attempt the reset again? Or do we
Or
try
we can
to...
just do what Eskel said with the rope.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Okay, carry on.
Aurelian, help me with the rope.
I am looking
I
at
help
its
with the
feet.
rope.
So we basically got the rope, like looped around it, and I'm just intending to, pull. I guess if we really want to topple this thing, you get people on both sides and they alternate pulling. If we want to do right about it. But,
All I am
it's-
doing is trying to look at the bottom of its feet. I am focusing only on that.
For the record, it's like not fixed to the platform. You could tell that when you tried to lift it. So you should just need to chip it over more or less.
do we know which foot?
No.
Could be one, could be both. You don't know. So you and I assume Aurelion both give it a pull with the rope.
Yeah. You want us to make checks?
In this case, no. As you both heave, you find surprisingly little resistance, as it no longer seems to be trying to maintain its previous, posture. It simply tumbles and lays prone.
Interesting. Maybe your reset did work.
Why didn't it pick up a foot?
It probably needs to be spoken in Primordial then. Or Gnomish, perhaps. I'm looking under its foot. Do I see a unit name?
You do. I don't have it made up, so we're just gonna go with you know its name.
No, it's...
It says pump on it.
Okay, so should we reattune it to me now that I have the ability to speak at it in Primordial? That's probably a good idea. Unless maybe it's the person who carves it rather than the person who speaks at it, especially because... Okay. Do you think you can talk me through carving the Dwarven runes?
I could paint them and you could carve over the paint.
Ah, I like this plan.
Well,
I turn to and I'm like, stand up.
It does nothing.
Okay, what if I try to tell it to stand up? I tell it to stand up.
It still does nothing.
Getting to the back is going to be difficult.
I think if actually getting to the front, that would be difficult, because
Oh.
it's like laying face down in the dirt.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know which way it fell. Getting
Fair
to
enough.
insert side that is closer to the ground here
Fair
will
enough.
be difficult.
Fair enough. Alright, well, as it's, your, like, most native language, you can obviously paint the characters with ease. And with the paint acting as guidelines, you'll be able to etch the symbol and its back.
And we have to roll it over.
Pretty much.
Did you try just telling it that you're its master first? I don't remember you saying that. I remember you just saying roll over.
But the problem is that the restart appears to be what reattunes it.
Okay. Well then,
Probably
should we all
what
just
I've
roll
learned.
strength and roll it over?
I'm good with that. It's a 9 on die. Got a 13.
I could have just used the 8 I rolled earlier. That's a 2? That's a 2.
So, 2, 13.
I got a 7.
Fuck, I got a 10.
Weird.
Wow.
2,
Got a 7 on die.
Good
2,
God,
13.
nobody can roll this one. Alright, let's give it another heave-ho, guys, alright? 1, 2, 3.
I'm just taking.
I got a 3.
An 8.
I got
Makes it
a,
a 7.
I got a 6.
Oh my God.
17.
In the rain, it's getting kind of slippery.
Oh my
I
God.
got a
Like,
13.
One, the clay is getting slippery, the ground, everything is slippery.
Right.
So,
One more good go.
as nothing's providing resistance, you can effectively all just, like, take 10 on this.
Just
It'll-
lift it.
It'll take you some time, especially with these poor rolls, but, and the now kind of degrading weather, but you will be able to roll it over with some time and effort.
Totally just roll it onto its side so that we have access to both sides.
Yep.
It's like,
Roll
what
it
are we
onto its side and
rolling?
just,
It's
like,
just
hold it
strength?
It could either be, I think things that would make the most sense would probably be either athletics or maybe even a con saving throw, just for like the kind of like stinted effort you're doing at this
If
point.
it was athletics, then I got a 13 and a 16.
If that was athletics, my numbers don't change. The con saving throw, I got a 13 and a 12.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to pretty much just call the previous numbers a wash at this point. I just want one last roll from all of you as a con saving throw just to see how well you deal with the kind of the
Okay.
lengthier stress.
Everyone remember that you get +3.
That's nice.
Okay, con save.
Okay, quick question. Was
You
it a
sons of
strength save,
fucking
or
dice.
was it
Huh.
acrobatics or anything like that?
Con saving throw.
I got a 9.
12. I rolled a 3.
Me too.
I'm
On
taking
die.
Oh
my
my
8.
God, I got a natural 20, so I got a 25.
I'm actually gonna use my 8 divination roll for this. So a total of a 12.
Okay.
That should be about right, yeah?
19 for con.
Okay. So pretty much everyone's fine. Like, what was Aurelion's roll? It was a 3 on die. What's that in total?
12.
12. Alright, so then pretty much everyone but Dirk is fine. Dirk, you're pretty much, I'm going to say, just like halfway to a level of exhaustion. If you have to
I am
exert
very
yourself.
winded.
Yeah, if you have to exert yourself like this again, you will gain a full level.
Just gonna kind of paint the symbol and go sit down over there for a second. I believe in you.
With the knee, Dirk, not the back.
The symbol.
Alright, you are able to do so.
And
and something I probably should share before, like a glow will kind of go out of its eyes for about 30 seconds as it restarts.
okay, I'm gonna repeat the thing that you told me to say.
Start with I'm your master.
Alright, fine. I start with I'm your master. I don't actually think that that's the thing. If anyway, I will start with I'm your master now. You listen to me now. Whatever.
I will just for simplicity, I'll remind you that for you have done the reset, and it has. So perhaps you may define yourself as master. You're not sure, but the next step would be call it by the unit's name and then the phrase.
Yes. So I say unit name. Oh. I do remember it.
If you wish to attempt the phrase, and if you get it right, I'll give you inspiration. If not, the character still gets you right, and we'll move on.
I would like to attempt it, damn it. Okay, hang on. We have imprisoned you. You have served us well. We release you now.
Alright, that is close enough. The only word that wasn't there, I think, was the now at the end. But
yeah, I was 100% on that, but...
So, take inspiration if you don't already have it. If you do, give it to somebody else.
Mine, all mine.
Alright, it seems to try and, nod at you from its kind of awkward position on the ground. And you'll see the light go out of its eyes once more, and it will begin to crack.
This is neat.
It will crumble, and with a burst of electricity kind of up into the sky, basically like a reversed lightning bolt, the golem will be no more.
God.
That's the kind of golem fight I want to have.
Indeed.
Next.
We should find anyone who speaks Primordial and share this information with them. Basically,
Most
okay.
people
Okay.
aren't going to have the adamantine tool to cut
God
into it.
damn it. Fine.
It's gonna be a long night.
Well, we can at least tell Ira who can make an adamantine knight for night. Oh my god, I can't talk.
Fizzle.
We can tell Ira who can make some variety of adamantine etching tool. And at least we'll have one more person who doesn't have to actually fight these things. And perhaps others among her number are able to do the same.
For 1 minute.
For 1 minute. It's enough time to do a reset. Hopefully.
Yep. If you guys wish, you could try to, spread out to, garner, to, spread this information as much as possible. Somebody roll intelligence. Just pick somebody at random.
Pick somebody at random or pick somebody who has the best at it.
Wizard.
Okay, hang on. What specifically intelligence?
Just intelligence.
Alright, so just my number and my intelligence modifier.
Yep.
My die roll.
Yep.
And intelligence, okay. 13.
Alright. It occurs to you that you may not need an adamantine tool to do this, as is. While it may be enchanted clay, it is still technically just clay. Steel may be able to get the job done.
Okay.
However, this may change when it comes to the Iron Golem.
Iron Golem, yes.
At
okay.
the very least, if we can do the ritual that makes them no longer immune to mundane weapons, then somebody could carve into it with not too much difficulty.
Might have to do it at each one, no? Do we know approximately how many of these there are?
Clay golems, there's probably about 6 in total, so 5 now.
Okay, it's not terrible. Has like the fighting started elsewhere, or is the storm kind of still building?
You know what? I'm gonna roll percentile dice for this. You guys want high or low?
Hi.
Sure.
Alright, if you get in the upper 30, I'm gonna say it's not started yet. That is a no. So, some fighting has begun, not necessarily all of it, but you will see frequent lightning bolts and very, like, in one area, like, a lot.
Okay.
And I don't mean, like, lightning bolts you can see, like, kind of diagonally, like, from a standard spell, like, coming down from the sky and striking the ground in
and also
specific
somewhat
area.
terrifying. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to that area. Since I can speak languages, that's cool. I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna yell out, "We have the means to decommission them peacefully."
And you will see Ira there, as she seems to be the one commanding the lightning.
Oh, that's terrifying.
While Jin don't normally have a spell called lightning, I felt that was a grave oversight, so I have added it.
I repeat, still terrifying.
They should also have shape lightning so that they can make balloon animals.
Dear God. Little crackling static. Okay, anyway, carrying on.
What do you, like, as she seems to be, like, as she knows that she can understand you, she'll just respond and hope that you can understand her. She'll say, what do we need to do?
You need to find a way to etch. Well, first you need to get the unit's name, which is typically under their feet. Then you'll etch the elemental symbol on the front and the back of the golem. And that'll start it restarting. It is unclear at this time whether you need to tell it that it will now respond to you, or if the simple act of etching causes it to respond to you, and then you say to it in primordial, I apologize for this phrase, I did not make it up, and I'll repeat the phrase to her again.
Okay. She'll go, I'll see what I can do, and she'll begin trying to, as you'll see the wind start to pick up heavily, and begin to swirl around the golem as she attempts to lift it.
I'll try to get an eye under its foot to see if I can get the unit name.
Alright. At this point, since you guys are kind of just helping out with another combat encounter that you weren't really meant to be a part of, we can just roll some check for it.
Alright, what are we rolling?
Let's see, what would be, like, let's roll perception, see if you can just get a good angle on the foot. And this can go for just her or anyone that wants to, like, depending if you wanted to follow. Well, sorry, as she ran towards the lightning. I would somewhat assume that Al did not, as she's displayed a fear of, thunder, lightning, storms.
I mean, I don't think it's a good idea for us to split up. So
Really? Because I was going to say spread out and then form different elementals individually.
she's the only one that can talk to them.
I guess that's right.
Well, we don't know if any of perhaps the gnomes speak primordial.
I think in the time it would take to find the gnomes that speak primordial and then doing things.
Alright, we all go with Melisari and we help the wind lift the thing so that she can read it to the elemental.
Well, we help figure out the... Okay. I don't know how y'all want to do this. I feel like the wind's just gonna lift y'all up with the foot if it is going that route.
Huh? I mean, the wind is struggling to get the thing off the ground. Having more people pushing on it isn't gonna hurt.
I'm just worried that you're gonna get caught up in the wind too.
Whee!
But anyway, I rolled a 15 perception.
Okay. I'm gonna go with that's good enough, depending. Well, actually, let's see what the strength checks to see how high it gets off the ground first. That makes more sense. Let's get some strength checks from anyone who wants to try and give Ira a hand getting this thing off the ground.
18.
1.
Okay, so
Whee!
Eskel starts to get close, and then just due to the fact that he's significantly lighter than Dirk, is picked up by the wind.
Whee!
That's what I was warning you about!
But due to Dirk's low center of gravity, he's able to move in close and give it a helping hand.
Eskel's last words were, "Oh, son of a bitch!"
Alright, so I will shout the unit name back to whoever.
Alright. And you gave her the instructions. She's like, and how do you propose we get that symbol on it?
Copy.
We used an adamantine chisel of some sort. With the
Which
clay,
is currently
it
in
might...
your possession.
Yes, it's currently in my possession.
Eskel's
Might
still
be able
flying
to
through the
just-
air in a vortex, goes, "Air is an extremely good eroder!"
Might be able to blast it in, or with a regular knife carve it in. We're not 100% certain.
And since anyone
Sturdy.
can understand what you're saying, even if they can't understand Ira, you'll hear, like, there is going to be a gnome at each site kind of commanding the constructs. Just say, we'll try and hold still then. And you'll see 2 shield golems move in and try to restrain its movements.
I attempt to restrain as well. I attempt to assist in the restraining.
Not an option!
I'm gonna try and move on to, like, the next gathering storm and see if I can stop anyone else from beginning combat, so that we don't need to worry about restraining them while trying to carve symbols into them.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna go, let's see. So there were 6 to start with. You've dealt with the first 2, so I'm just gonna roll a d4. I'm gonna go with a d4 minus 1 and seeing how many have already started combat. Zero. Awesome. So you do manage to get to the next one and inform them and proceed along the chain. Each person being able to guide you to the next spot. As these were kind of meant to happen in sequence, so that when the first one's finished, that group might be able to help the next. So it's kind of have some rolling momentum.
I love this. I love this so much. Oh, sorry, looks in her element.
I'm in the element too!
After they got the unit name, Ira would have set you and the golem down gently. She would have set the golem down less gently, but you were still in the area of effect.
I do think that he's still flying though. Like, she stopped the wind, and he's still like but like not under his
like
own power.
hovering.
Shit!
Just kind of hovering. A
Oh,
little.
get me out of this wall!
He gets stuck in a tree.
And now I'm in a different element.
The element of
Wanna know
wood and
which
breeze.
Is the only thing.
Bees!
Okay.
Well, that was a thing.
I heard a whoop.
Okay. Well, as you were able to get to the next ones before they had started, you have effectively dealt with the clay golems
Yay.
with an expenditure of none of your resources.
Look,
Well,
I'm at a
except
A fair
bridge.
bit of somebody else's, but none of yours.
Spot.
It only took like, what, 3-4 minutes?
Oh, one tongue spell, right? That too. Yeah, like,
Alright.
I'm gonna go with like maybe 10 minutes overall because there was a lot of figuring things out, pushing, and then running from each site to the next.
I'm winded probably by this point.
Yeah.
Like, as
Actually-
I keep getting to the next one, I'm like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Do me a favor, make another Constitution saving throw.
sure.
Eskel will be able to keep pace with you, so you can take his bonus if he wants to keep pace.
Oh, if I can keep pace, totally. I thought I was stuck up in the vortex.
No, she had set you down with the clay golem.
Oh, okay.
Unsafe. Come on, die. Don't fail me here.
I'd imagined I was flying around randomly.
Okay.
Now I'm imagining that I was just like orbiting the golem.
That would actually be fairly accurate, yeah.
Like that Kingdom Hearts fight
Mm-hmm.
that you hate.
I hate that fight so much.
I got a 14.
14.
It is a
Alright.
give a +3, right? Oh, wait,
Yeah, it's a
14,
+3 from me. +3.
And that is just shy for this one. This is your second check within, under half an hour. So you will receive what I'm going to call it basically just half a level of exhaustion. It'll go away, and this goes for you too, Dirk. They'll go away if you can get yourself a short rest. But if you, if you have failed a saving throw like this again before then, you'll go up to a full level.
Okay.
Around.
Because, exhaustion's the right descriptor, but exhaustion is freaking strong, a strong debuff to go and give someone just for physical activity, so I'm trying to draw a middle ground here.
Sounds fair.
Exhaustion.
Alright, and so with that, after, 10-15 minutes in total from when you guys started with your golem, you are able to have the clay golem still with, and you could move on to the iron golem, which would effectively be the same process, as you have all the tools and you've done all the troubleshooting.
Yeah.
I bent forward, hands on my knees for a second, and breathe after the last one.
I learned to stay farther away from them. I am too light.
It's actually going to take multiple constructs and Ira to try and raise the iron golem, because it's, significantly heavier. To try and get an idea of what its designation is. And when it says unit name, think serial number, that's basically what it is. Yeah. It's not an actual name.
I want it to be named Steve.
Okay, it can be named Steve, but neat.
ST3. Did you say T or P? T. I still didn't understand it. Can we use another word?
Oh,
Alright. And so you guys will have been able to do this with, no collateral damage. As this was not, as I had forgotten about the whole speak with Dad option from that you had come up with from last session. This was unexpected to me, so I guess I'll just be going with handing out the kind of best result I had come up with for had you been able to kill it within a few rounds.
Oh yeah.
So after you are able to deactivate all the golems, the storm will start to die down, as it was. It won't We're starting to die down. It'll be less aggressive. The storm will still be there, as kind of the opening of the portal just makes a storm naturally occur. It's just kind of part of the process. She had just cast Cult Lightning, which lets you more or less control it. But now that has ended, it's gone back to a more natural storm. As a lot of you are kind of, I'd imagine, gathered around the Iron Golem, Ira will come and approach you, Melisari. And how long does tongues last? Minutes? An hour? What are we talking?
An hour.
1 hour. Okay, so then she would be able to just talk to you, and she doesn't have to cast it herself.
Wait.
So she... so she'll come and say, I am impressed you're able to find a way to deal with these things without taking them apart aggressively.
It was a joint effort, and we are all also very grateful that we were able to piece it all together.
Well, as you have eliminated both this wretched affliction to my people and the risk we were going to be taking in putting a stop to it, I have a gift for you. And she will hand you a ring and say, should you need me, speak my name and request my help, and I shall come.
Is there any particular phrase in order to request your help, or?
It's not particularly specific, but if you want to be certain, something along the lines of, Ira, I need your help, or I need a favor, I believe would suffice for its conditions.
I will take it and tell her I accept gratefully. Hopefully it's not a thing that we will need to use frequently, but it is appreciated all the same.
While this ring can be used more than once, I will be requesting its return upon the end of its first use, should I feel that my debt has been paid.
That sounds fair. I also kind of dip my head toward her in gesture of respect.
Be warned. It will require a fair amount of concentration to use. Should you be focusing on something else at the time, you may not be able to do both at once. So, in short, you may add a ring of Jinn summoning to your sheet. Oh, sorry.
Neat.
Ring of Jinn summoning. Just going to reach out and push against Melisari's shoulder. Say, team effort, nothing. That was all you.
I maybe flush slightly, but just kind of move along. Does anybody have anything they wish for me to impart to Ira?
Yes. Hang
And she
here
sees
and
other people kind of like from the party talking, and she'll begin casting a spell. And since you have tongues active, you'll know what she's saying is the vocal components, and you'll know that she's casting tongues.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll say, hang here. I need to go get Amaranth. That she should meet her liaison.
Oh, yes, that is a good idea. I'll relay that to Ira as she can. It's an instant cast pretty much in her mind, so she probably knows that already.
Yep. Just like,
Go fetch Amara.
that won't be appreciated. Oh, I forgot this is on the GM layer. Let me move this to the token layer. Boom.
I wondered where she was.
My bad.
Accidentally closing tab. I don't know how I'm doing it. It's very annoying.
Alright, now I will go copy over Amara.
Poof. Jin, this is Amara, the tiefling I told you about, who will be your liaison. Amara, this is Jin. Ira, this is Ira, the Jin. Excuse me.
She was giving you a weird look at first, but since you've corrected yourself, she will let it slide.
Had stupid Ruby on the brain.
Admittedly, the photo effect is not exactly distinct from that, so...
Oh no, this one has so much more clothing.
I mean, I guess by comparison.
Mm-hmm. In any event, Ira, Amara, Ira. Liaison. This is the person who wished for you to be the go-between between the air elementals and the gnomes of this village. Are you comfortable with that?
Yes, I do believe it should be, a interesting experience.
You two should talk. Ira, we have removed all of the golems, freed all of the elementals.
All of the ones that I'm aware exist. If there are others, we will be back. And
Well.
with the methods known and the town's cooperation, I don't see the removal being a problem.
Town's cooperation. I have to disappear again. I need to go get Nyx.
Doop 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 doop.
See this spot right here? This is where my F would be.
Alright, copy. Go back to this page. Paste. Alright, you have come back with Nyx.
Alright. Introduce Nyx. Or, double check Nyx. Are you the most leadership type person in the town now that, Aliston is gone?
For the moment, there may be someone else who is put in charge in the next few days, but in the absence of someone being selected, I am the closest thing we have. I will make sure that should there be a change in regime.
Indeed, but you can inform them, as power is shifted, what needs, that this is going to need to be done.
Yes, I'll make sure that whoever is in charge is aware of the situation, and moreover, I'll make sure that Amara is aware of the situation. And I'm sure she can inform Ira, was it?
Indeed, Ira, the Jinn. He is the person we've been dealing with, but you shall the town, rather, shall henceforth be addressing her via the proxy of Amara here. And this is how we shall protect the peace between the two of you. The two of you being the elementals and the town.
Hopefully in time we'll be able to deal more directly, but I do see the advantages to having a more neutral party as a go-between for the moment.
Now, without these golems, your defensive force is reduced. However, on the upside, we were able to not sacrifice, damage, or otherwise ruin any of the constructs, right, DM?
That is correct. There'd be minor damage to the ones that had gotten in combat and the one where Ira was, but
we saved way more than we'd anticipated.
Significantly, and pretty much they're the ones that got damaged are likely still like salvageable.
So we know that it's a reduced force to be protecting you from the undead, but hopefully that will be less of a problem and overall once we remove this not Revenant, Death Knight.
If you can remove the forces of the Forgotten Fortress, it could make things safer here, and if we were to get on good terms with that Mistal, perhaps serve as a fallback point for us, should things over here become overwhelming. As it is a fortress, it would be more defendable.
I will still speak with the Temple of Bahamut and see if there's nothing that can be done for you, but for the time being, a exodus will not be necessary.
I do not know if it will be necessary, but regardless, I do not know if it is possible. As there are a limited number of you, and our golems move slowly. Not golems, constructs. I gotta get out of the habit of using the word golem.
Jin, golem. Well, if it becomes necessary, we will find a way to do it.
I appreciate that, but should you succeed, that should help things significantly. Should you fail, well, I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm just glad that we were able to put Aliston's research to a much better use, and in so doing we were able to save ourselves a day and both you and us a great deal of resources. So, Ira, we need to get to the Forgotten Fortress in a hurry. Can we have that windwalk thing again?
As you wish. It is like out of character. I did the math on this. They can actually, like, a Jin can have that active at least for themselves, literally every hour of the day, because it lasts 8 hours, and they can cast it 3 times a day.
Nice. But yeah, they always have windwalk, basically.
Pretty much. It might as well be infinite use.
It's surprising that it isn't, honestly. Okay. So, everybody ready to go to our destiny? The last 10 minutes we have anyway?
I think so.
I feel like something I wanted to bring up, but I now can't remember what it was, so...
Well, we'll take care of the leaving next week, so you have time to hopefully think of it.
It's probably fine, but regardless...
As Nyx was at the site of the first combat, she will ask, how did you know that it might take adamantite to etch the symbols into the golems?
Oh, we just sort of found the chisel. It seems like probably adamantine.
We knew that adamantine... didn't we know that adamantine could harm them?
We knew that adamantine is the hardest metal that we know of, which means it can etch other metals.
Yeah. You knew that, and Ira had told you that their immunities were not applicable to adamantine weapons.
Okay. And also just finding that and trying the paints and the paint's not working.
Yeah, we mostly just used it because we figured we have it. It might be necessary for a reason we don't know, so why not use it?
May I ask for its return in case there's...
Oh, yes, of course.
Return?
I'm giving the adamantine chisel back to her.
When I say return, I just mean to the city in general. For if he had a secret project or anything that we were not aware of, its use may be needed.
Right. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was Ira who was asking for it.
Sorry, I don't have much of a different voice between Nyx and Iris, so that's kind of my bad.
Fine. Yeah, sorry. Eskel does look, like very slightly crestfallen as he watches the adamantine change hands. He hides it well.
How well does he hide it?
With
Not that I'm trying to persuade
his
you.
deception, 15.
Oh,
Well.
I mean, high charisma.
can I have advantage on my insight on you?
Oh, you do? Okay.
No,
We spent
I'm
some-
asking if I can.
We do
I'm
spend a
gonna
lot
go
of
with
time
yes.
together.
Just not paying attention. I'm just handing it over.
Sweet. So I'll put my hand on your shoulder, or as like, put my hand on your back and say, "We'll find you enough adamantine to make a proper sword."
Oh, I would have settled for a dagger, but that would be amazing.
Kind of glance over at you guys, like smile.
We're
slightly.
adorable.
Very small smile.
We also owe you a rather large debt for helping us deal with the removal of the golems and dealing with negotiations. So,
You're
well, but
taking
you're not-
in Amara and treating her as one of your own. That is a rather large favor in itself.
it is somewhat, but as she will also be somewhat taken care of by the elementals, it's not as much of a... It's not imposing as much as it had been previously. If you can come back after you've attempted your task, we may have our leadership decided and may be able to render you some sort of aid or boon.
Yeah. I look to the others, just like nodding my head. We
Yeah,
were
we
gonna
should
come back
certainly
anyway,
check
right? Sorry, you broke up a little there. I apologize.
I basically just said the same thing you did.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it would be important to return to you regardless to check on things here.
And to make sure that the situation that we leave things in the Forgotten Fortress is known here.
Yeah.
Aurelion, how's the head?
Still attached.
Better than the alternative.
Right.
You didn't black out at all during all of this?
No.
Oh, good.
At least I
It
don't
really
think I did.
started to have me worried.
If you guys have any more in-character stuff to do or questions to ask, feel free, but if not, then I will call it here.
Quick, turn off the music before it starts again.
Go for it.
It was a beautiful ending.
I always have to scroll around to find the channel.
Oh, which one even is it? Is it Rhythm? There we go. And the Unbound shore right there.
Alright. Hey, we did it without having to fight. Which is honestly like the best way we could have done it, because now we don't have to spend another day waiting for our resources to come back.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I'm a little
now,
sad
due to this detour, you're actually going to be early.
Woo!
Much better.
a little disappointed I won't be able to get Dispel Magic re-prepared, but I guess I might end up needing to anyway.
As long as you still got Counterspell.
I still have Counterspell.
Okay.
2 third-level spell slots with which to use it.
We will our absolute best in that fight.
Hey, at least I didn't decide to ditch Protection from Evil and Good to get Dispel Magic. I'm more likely to need Protection from Evil and Good later than I am to need Dispel Magic now. So.
Oh man. A person that has both Shield of Faith and Protection from Evil and Good on them.
It's good stuff.
Too bad it can't be cast by one person.
No, but we have 2 people. Like, I can cast Shield of Faith on 2 people, and she can cast Protection from Evil and Good on 1 person.
And Dirk can cast it on the other if he so desires.
If so desires. And then just make them the wall.
I have a feeling the next fight is going to be. So I may keep that pick.
I mean, the next fight won't just be a fight. We'll also need to figure out how to get Atlas to feel remorse. And
Not to mention
had,
get to him.
500 years of not giving a shit.
Do we know what language he spoke in life?
He spoke Common to you. Well, I guess Malsar doesn't know this, but he had spoken Common to Eskel when they ran to him the first time.
Spoke old-timey Common.
Like
A lot of these and thous and eths.
like any languages that might say be more near and dear to his heart, and where we might be able to tug at them a little bit, tug at them heartstrings a little bit more in it.
Well, he was from the human nations, and he was a human.
So it might just be Common.
Might be Common. You also know that he has strong ties to Tiamat, so Draconic may also have a place somewhere.
Oh yeah, that language I don't speak, even though I follow her Bahamut.
Yep.
I speak it though, so.
I gotta go give the cat her medicine and all that. So.
Good night.
Yep, it has been a fun day, and this has, and as this, or sizable encounters that you have sidestepped, you're well on your way to your next level.
Woo!
Nice. Bye, everyone.
Bye, stream.
I go to bed as well.